All right, another test with more nose weight. Here's where we started. We're way up here. I mean, well, we started way back here, so we're dang near a foot forward of where the original start point was. But yesterday it never dove. It was always still climbing, and let's see if we can get it to fly a little bit better before I add the winglets. Just curious here. Okay, oh, watch out now. I had a little bit more control for sure, but it seems pretty clear that it wants winglets. It did fly straight out, not in a dive, but it seemed pretty good. I think I'm gonna, well, I add some more. One more before I put the winglets on.
So after that first flight, my gut was telling me that I just needed the winglets on. I put a lot of nose weight in it for that first flight, and I didn't get a chance to fly it. It didn't necessarily go out any better than before, except for it went straight out instead of up. But I ended up taking some nose weight out and putting the winglets on, and when I did finally get a hold of it and trimmed out, I was like, didn't have enough elevator authority because it was just still wanting to dive. But there was not a lot of wind or lift, and so I can't really rule out the possibility that it could fly without the winglets, even though it seems clear. I'm going to do a couple more tests with the foamy here just to kind of firm all that up.
All right, winglet test number one. Yeah, it definitely feels nose heavy now. I'm back on the elevator. I'm gonna have to go hiking.
Keep in mind, this is with less nose weight than the initial launch for the day.
Take some weight out of the nose. All right, I took some nose weight out. Maybe more than I should have, but I'm curious because I've been like so far forward and I've added so much. So I'm still quite a bit more nose heavy than I was like at the park for the free flight. All right, here we go. Can you believe I'm actually trimming the airplane? You know, the lift is, I don't know, the lift is pretty spotty here. I need a little bit more lift. Really scratching for lift here. Where are we at? Where are we at? Oh, on the other side of that ridge. I did not see that. Okay, I'm not going to change anything because it really just seemed like I just needed more lift. Yeah, maybe more nose weight, I suppose, because I have down elevator into it and it's still ballooning up. So let me get a little more nose weight in it, and then we'll go from there. Now it doesn't want to come down. Yeah, we're gonna put a little more nose weight. All right, so I added some nose weight and I put my trim back to neutral, my elevator trim. Yeah, oh, whoa, 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 easy guy. Yeah, I'm pulling back on the stick quite a bit. It's not generating any lift now. I can't get it to, I'm gonna try to get it over there. Just need more lift. Okay, I thought I was done testing, but I thought, you know what? Those winglets are two-piece. I'll split them, okay, make them smaller. And I took out half of the lead that I just added earlier. So one last flight test. Small winglets. It's still scrubbing for lift though, but uh-oh. I should have just landed it right there. Ooh, almost did a touch and go. All right, that's good for today.
Well, that was definitely the best testing day ever. There's still a lot to learn on this airplane, and I think there's a lot to learn with the composite one at high speed. I don't think I can fully understand this airplane by flying a foamy and light wind. So I'm still gonna do some foamy testing, and I'll fly the composite one as soon as I can, I think. But I want to do a couple more foamy flights before that, just to kind of dial in a couple things. Right now I have the ailerons taped at the tips, and someone had mentioned that, that could have quite an impact on how it's acting, how it's behaving. So I would need to cut those surfaces off and put some, I think I'm just going to use some carbon sandwich panel, like wrapped up in tape or something, but something stiffer. And ideally not have two, because I don't want to add servos, but I want to test with that without the wingtips tied up, and still try to fly without winglets maybe one more time if there's enough lift. It seems like it needs a lot more lift and wind in order to add nose weight and fly without the winglets. And I know the winglets are like an easy crutch, right? Oh, let's just put them on, look how great it flies. But if it can fly without winglets, it should be flying without winglets, because in the grand scheme of things, we don't want those winglets on if we don't need them. One last thing I'd like to mention, I know there's a lot of new subscribers and people that are just picking this up for the first time. Some of the comments they made me think that they don't realize that there's a lot more to this project than this foamy airplane. There's going to be some really exciting things coming when we start flying the composite models at high speeds. That's when things start getting real, and this is just scratching the surface, and I'm trying to get there, but I had to slow down and step back and really take it slow at first, because I'm just having no luck jumping straight into the composites. And fortunately, by listening to some people, I didn't just go straight ahead and build that giant one, which ultimately we're going to get back on that. There's a very large airplane as part of this project, but I got to get some of these fundamentals sorted out first before we start going fast. But it'll get exciting very soon. Stay tuned.